Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. There is a new trading card game coming out. Bandai has partnered with us to make this video and showcase their new trading card game, Spirits Saga. Now, this will be available April 28th of this year, and in this video I want to show you guys a little bit of the rule set, what I've learned, and why this is a really big deal. This is one of the most creative rule sets for a card game that I have seen. Their art is beautiful, and they're coming out strong in the tournament scene. That's right. They have $1 million across a year in North America, EU, Latin America, and Oceania tournaments, starting with Las Vegas event on March 25th to 26th. And if you are interested, you should sign up right now because the deadline to sign up is March 19th. 2023. Now, to practice, there's lots of resources. They have a fantastic official website. There are many content creators. You would be surprised just how many people are hyped up and on board with this card game even before it has launched. If you want to check out many resources, I will get you started with this video, but there's many places for you to check out. You can get a demo deck right now. There is a list of stores on their website. You can find out where you can get one just to practice, maybe practice with your friends, get the training, get good, basically, get some hands-on experience, and they'll have full decks available at the kickoff event in March. So, let's talk physical card games. What makes physical card games great? Well, a lot of the digital card games I actually showcase on this channel, well, they stem from that. Physical card games have their own set of advantages. You get, well, the tangible, you get the actual cards. You own what you get in its fullest form. You have it in your hand. It is a physical product, so there's many aspects to this. For collectibles, because it is a trading card game, but it's also a collectible one, of course, you get to kind of feel the card. You get to see the artwork. You get to see the science that goes into producing some of these masterpieces, and we'll unbox them and show you guys pretty soon. You get to trade with your friends. You get to play in real life with your friends. Now, that might mean a bit fewer games than online card games, but overall, it is a different experience and a wonderful that. One of the downside that physical card games typically have is that it is a bit cumbersome to be creative with rules. Now, I have learned how to play Spirits Saga, and I will show you guys shortly this, and it has impressed me. In this field of game mechanics, it is one of the coolest, most in-depth, highest agency game mechanics of any card game I have seen, and I am pleased to show you guys just what makes it amazing. So, I did tout the resources on their main website. Why don't we go over there and start explaining some of the cards, the colors, and the cores? Why don't we start with the cores? So, the cores, they kind of act as the resource system, but they also act as your life. This is a typical kind of like playmat. It is included in a number of their products. This specific one you can just get on their website. Again, they have very full resources. So your life are these cores. You start with 5 life. And your resource, how you use resource to cast cards, to play them, to cast spells, to play the spirits, to power the spirits, as you'll see. You use your main resource, your mana, if you will, but in Spirits Saga, they are cores. And these cores, they're the blue ones here. You start with 3 blue ones and 1 red one. Your red one is your soul core. You only get one, and it's used in very few and unique mechanics in special ways, but it can also be used as a regular blue core. As the turns unfold, you get another core added to your reserve, allowing you to cast cards that are, higher cost. They require more to play. So let's talk about those cards. There are 3 types of cards in general. The first one is the Spirit. These are your guys. These are your fighters. They do the battle on your behalf, as it mentions. In terms of their attributes, you have the cost. The cost is in the upper left. In this case, the Imperial Thunder Dragon Siege Worm costs 6. It also has a few symbols besides it cost. This is how much you can discount the card. And this is where Battle Spirits Saga really excels. We're going to highlight a few key mechanics that I really love in video games, that a lot of the biggest upsides when you start to develop a strategy always come with downsides. Battle Spirits Saga is a master of incorporating multiple aspects of this. So you can actually get discounts from having cards in play. If you have 3 of these cards with this symbol in play, you can actually cast the Imperial Thunder Dragon Siege Worm with only 3 cores. Now, after you cast the card, you have to power the card. You can move the cores as you wish during your turn, but at level 1, you can see here in blue that it requires 1 core to power the dragon at level 1. Now, you can put more than 1 core, but if he has less than the level 1 requirement, well, he is going to the trash. He has fallen. Now, if you power it up with more cores, its power at level 1 is 4,000, but if you get 3 cores on it, it has 6,000 powers. If you get 5 cores on it to power him, it gets 9,000 power. And this power is kind of like compared against your opponent's spirit during combat. So if you have something with higher power than your opponent, you win the fight, they lose their spirit. You keep your spirit in its fullest. And this means that a higher amount of power can crush, but having a larger swarm of spirits, because when you attack, you exhaust, you can't block back. If you have all of your power concentrated in one spirit, well, you can just get swarmed by many small ones when getting hit back again. You also have abilities. So some of these abilities are active, from level 1, but some of those abilities, like the second one here, is only active when you have a level 3. And that makes it an interesting mechanic where you can choose to power up a few or just spread your cores across many different spirits and try to take on that strategy. Now, the Nexus is another type of card here. This is not a spirit, but in some cases, you can use cores to power them up. As we see at level 1, it requires 0 cores, so you don't have to pay something extra in addition to its cost. It can act to discount your other cards, so it can act as a form of ramp, which is very useful to have. And some of these have really powerful effects, and further, even more powerful effects if you do choose to level them up to 2. So at 2, you get, during your attack step, draw a card when you reduce your opponent's life. Well, that sounds pretty powerful. The third type of card is a magic card. This is kind of like a spell. Now, some of these can have multiple effects. On magic card, you get one of the multiple effects at your choosing. Now, these magic cards sometimes have a burst effect. If we go back to the playmat, we see that burst has its own slot. The burst slot is where you can put face down a card with a burst effect without paying its cost whatsoever, and if the burst condition is met, in the case of landmine here, when your opponent destroys your spirit, you can activate it on their turn for free. Or you can just play it as it is while paying the cost. And you have noticed, hopefully, that all of this means that you have an enormous amount of player agency. You are in control of your game. Your decisions are very impactful. And even though we've only seen a few cards here in these examples, you can play these cards in many different ways. Now, when you're building a deck, you're going to want to get 50 cards, and right now there are 4 colors. There's the red color, which generally has like dragons. From what I've seen, the red color has spirits with very high stats and abilities on them and magic cards that generally are aggressive to try to take down your opponent, to overwhelm them. The purple color has not as high stats typically speaking, and they focus more on removal. Specifically, they have unique mechanics that allow you to remove cores from your opponent's spirits. In some cases, that can de-level them, and in other cases, that can remove them from play completely. The white color also has very high statted spirits, but their abilities and their magic cards generally focus of more of a defensive nature when compared to red that has more of an offensive nature. So it's kind of like a tank in a way. And the yellow color has smaller spirits than white and red, but they often have more powerful abilities. They also have, generally speaking, more powerful, and you can do more with the magic cards that they have. So they're kind of like a magic wielding color. Now, you can have, multiple colors, for example, and if you do, well, you can combine the most powerful effects from two different colors, for example, but the drawback, and that's the real genius of the card game, the drawback is that you are constantly going to be behind on the discount mechanism. If you play two colors, it'll be much harder to have 3 red cards in play, for example. And there's many aspects of this. Battle Spirits Saga is unique in the way that all advantages come with a possible disadvantage in the game. If you attack with a spirit, you exhaust it. Your opponent can attack you harder back. One of the most incredible mechanics that really took me by surprise is that your life is literally your resource. You start with 5 life. If you choose not to block one of the spirits that your opponent attacks with, well, you lose a life, but you don't lose it. That life, that core that starts in your life area, goes to your reserve. You are basically ramping your resource if you are taking damage. So if you flip it around, if you are trying to attack your opponent, sometimes your opponent will want to be attacked so he can play his higher cost cards earlier than you can. And because of this mechanic, it actually makes it a little bit more challenging to finish off an opponent. Having an early game advantage and snowballing your opponent out of the game, which is one of the biggest problems in most card games that we play these days, actually is reversed on its head, which is incredible. The mana boost from discounts allows you to, kind of flood the board in some cases. But if you're using your cores to play a high number of cards, those high number of cards might just run into a wall of slightly more concentrated cores on fewer cards. So it has a natural counterplay using the same cards, which is really interesting. And the nature of upside and downside mechanics gives a lot of opportunity to come back from behind. As I mentioned in the intro of this video, this is what makes this card game very interesting. The flow of the game is that you rarely know exactly who is going to be winning the game at the end until the very end when it happens. Now, again, the other part that's really cool about physical card games, as we're about to see here, is the actual cards themselves. You get to touch them, you get to feel the amazing artwork, and we're going to unbox the goods that they sent me and show you guys just that. So these are the goods that I was sent. Look at that. Dear Summoner, welcome to the world of Battle Spirits Saga. Wow, thank you very much. So we have this box, and we have those boxes. But let's start with the big box first. We have a 4 influencer card. This is kind of like a sample card, but it might be one of those promo cards that you get very few of at the end. We have a Battle Spirits Saga world guide and game guide. So that's pretty cool. I think that has all the different continents and worlds and different factions in the game. What do we have here? Oh, we have a playmat. This is the exact same playmat that I actually have underneath. So I got 2 of those. Actually, we got some cards. We'll take a look at those in a second. So these are the cores and the soul core. So you see the soul core? It's a little bit different than the other cores. The other cores are blue. I believe you get 30 of these and 1 of those in this pack. We have a beautiful deck box here. Battle Spirits Saga. Absolutely fantastic. Hold a lot of cards in that one, that's for sure. And we have a poster here. I think it said this is like a holographic one. Oh, yes, it is very holographic indeed. Wow. Beautiful stuff. Look at that. Amazing, amazing stuff. All right. Now, the important stuff. Let's get to the cards themselves. This is actually the sample card that we looked at on the website, the Imperial Thunder Dragon Siege Worm. This is some form of a holographic version that I see. So let's open these up. I believe this is a half deck. So this is a 25 card package. So it's like half a deck. You need 50 cards minimum in Battle Spirits Saga. Absolutely beautiful. Very high quality card. You have a bit of like a 3D, but you also have like raised areas in the back of the card for, you know, you can feel the difference. Very, very nice. Very hard cards. And very thin, very well made stuff. We have Rain Needle. You get to play a lot of these because if you guys remember with the card discount, this costs 1 but has a 1 discount. It's not quite free though, because at level 1 you still have to power it with a core. You get 2 of those. You can have up to 4 of the same card in your deck. So this being half a deck, you have half of that just to have, you know, a bit of a sample. Moonbow Dragoon. There you go, those red cards. They love those dragons. Dragonoid Star Dragons, Dragno Guards, Blazing Boar, Emperor Beast. How about that? Very, very cool. Scorched Battlefield. This is the Battlefield card that we looked at earlier. Charged Draw. So see, this is a double effect magic card. You can draw 2 cards, or in the flash. So during combat, you can select a spirit and gain 2,000 battle points during the turn. The Landmine, Volcanic Break. Look at that. Very, very cool art. Very nice. All right. On to the starter decks. So they sent me the purple starter deck and the yellow starter deck. So let's see what's inside here. Let's open up the purple one first. I think you get everything you need to do like a full deck gameplay. So you have your soul core. It comes with a few extra cores. This, I believe, is a playmat, very much like the one that you can get on their website. And then, whoop, don't want to lose that one. I like that it has its own little slot for it there in the corner. And then we have the cards themselves. Battle Spirits Saga. This is the main card for purple right now. Dark King Snake Pendocles. So when summoned, select one of your opponent's spirits, remove all but 1 core from it, and place them into their reserve. So you get to depower one of their spirits when you play this. It's a pretty powerful card. And when the spirit attacks, if it's level 2 or 3, so if it has 3 or 4 cores, select one of your opponent's spirits, remove a core from it, and place it into the trash. So if your opponent doesn't overly stack cores on their spirits, they're going to have a really bad time against that. Let's see how I can open this. I want to open it with the least damage possible here. Okay, this is my first opening of a Battle Spirits Saga pack, so you know, excuse the noobness. I've been a collectible card gamer for most of my life, so I know how important it is to treat these cards with care. There we go, without the wrapping, full art. Beautiful. Dragonaga Assassin. Serpents. Segro Snake. Mumira Undead. Demo Bones. Mummifant. And yeah, this is a full deck. This is a full 50 card deck. You can see we have 3 copies of some of these. Skullfly, 2 cost with 2 discount. That's going to be a fun one. Phasmobat, Stray Soul, Dark Grail. When placed, select one of your opponent's spirits with 2 or more cores on it, remove a core and place it into their reserve. So that is a pretty clear de-leveling effect, which can be extremely powerful. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how your opponent will have to play against purple decks. It looks like experience may count for quite a lot in Battle Spirits Saga, because it's not just knowing your deck, it's knowing how to play around what your opponent is going to be sending you. All right, let's open up the yellow starter pack here. Now it includes, of course, all the same goodies as the previous one. Don't want to lose that. And this is the Calamity Beast Chaos Pegasaurus. There we go. Let's get the wrapper off so we could see this to the fullest extent here. A little bit better this time around. There we go. See, experience counts for a lot. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. During your attack step, all of your spirits that cost 2 gain 2,000 battle points. For 2-cost spirits, that is a lot. Here we'll see a few 2-cost spirits as we see some of these cards here. Sword Angel. Sword Angel, a level 1, only has 1,000, so it's tripling the battle points of some of these 2-costs. The deck is definitely focused around some of these. Grimoire Fairy, Princess Penton. Oh, this is a really big card. Upon my research for Battle Spirits Saga, this is considered a very powerful card. The Freeze Stall. So at level 1 and 2, so it always has this effect. During either attack step, draw a card when one of your spirits that costs 2 is destroyed in battle. So there's a lot of synergy with smaller spirits. And of course, with yellow being what it is, having smaller spirits with powerful effects, but also having really powerful magic cards allows you to seal a win. So how about that? Battle Spirits Saga is coming. And I do encourage you guys to be part of it. Check out the tournaments, check out the links below. And I want to thank Bandai for making this video possible. Thank you for watching.